What is the worst physical pain you've ever experienced? Story 1. I once suffered from kidney stones, and it was undoubtedly the worst pain I've ever experienced. But it wasn't just any ordinary kidney stone. It was so large that the doctors had to cut it out of my kidney. To do that, they had to cut a hole in my back to access the kidney. After the surgery, they inserted a catheter to secure and protect the opening that they made. When the time came to remove the catheter, it felt like my soul was leaving my body. It was a very close second to the excruciating pain of passing a kidney stone. Story 2. I always loved to tell the story of a boy who had double testicular torsion, which is a rare and painful condition. Normally, our testicles are held in place by the scrotal ligament, but this boy was born without them. As a result, his testicles were floating on a delicate axis. One day, while playing football, he made a fateful right turn, and the combination of speed, momentum, and gravity caused his testicles to wrap around each other like headphone cords on a centrifuge. The pain was so excruciating that he passed out before hitting the ground and vomiting. Fortunately, he received emergency surgery to reattach both testicles to his scrotum, and he managed to keep them both. He was rushed to the hospital extremely quickly, which probably saved his testicles. Needless to say, after hearing the story, I was a bit shaking up myself for a while. Story 3. I once experienced the agony of an ovarian cyst, and it's difficult to put into words just how excruciating the pain was. It felt like someone was stabbing and twisting a knife in my abdomen constantly. The pain was so severe that I started vomiting, and I had to lay in the bathtub because I could barely move. I thought that if I continued to throw up, I at least wouldn't have to move. It hurt to be in any position other than the fetal position, and I couldn't sleep, eat, or move without experiencing unbearable pain. Eventually, I had to go to the hospital, and they gave me muscle relaxers and pain medication, which were the only things that could dull the pain. OTC pain relievers didn't help at all. Story 4. Oddly, my second bout of COVID was the most excruciating pain I've ever experienced. And trust me, I've been through a lot. I've been hit by a car as a pedestrian, broken bones, suffered from menstrual cramps so severe that I have to take prescription painkillers and schedule time off work. I've had gallstones, pancreatitis, and even kidney stones. The body pains from COVID were unbearable. My legs were in a constant state of spasming, and my back felt like someone was repeatedly hitting it with a baseball bat. My body was so weak that I couldn't support my weight, and I ended up having to crawl on my belly to get to the bathroom. At one point, I couldn't even lift a glass of water and had to resort to sucking on a wet washcloth. My teeth were throbbing worse than when I cracked a molar, and chewing was impossible. I had to endure 5 days of that misery, but I never experienced any respiratory issues throughout the entire ordeal. Story 5. I once broke my wrist and had to undergo surgery, where they set my bones with 4 pins and put a cast on it. But just a week before my cast was due to come off, I went to the doctor because of excruciating pain in my wrist. They had to cut off the cast and found out that the first 2 pins had caused severe infection and necrosis, forming a giant pus boil. The doctor then had to pull out the infected pins with pliers, causing an unimaginable level of pain that left me momentarily blinded. I was admitted to the hospital for 4 days and had to endure a pain level that I could only compare to not having experienced traumatic death. It was a truly agonizing experience. Story 6. In grade school, I had a painful experience with an oil bath ball that resulted in a severe burn to my cornea. The pain was so unbearable that I had to be knocked out with pain medication. When I woke up, I tried not to cry but ended up screaming in agony. Luckily, I didn't lose my eye. I also underwent scar revision surgery, which felt like every nerve ending was exposed and being set on fire. Story 7. I was diagnosed with lumbago, and my doctor prescribed treatments and stretching exercises to manage the pain. However, one night, I felt a sharp jabbing pain in my spine and assumed I had just cracked it wrong. But then the pain persisted and intensified, causing a stabbing sensation in my back. It turned out that I had not 1, not 2, but 6 herniated discs in my spine, which required an extensive surgery to fix. Story 8. In college, I experienced a collapsed lung and had to undergo a painful procedure to reinflate it. The doctors hooked me up to a vacuum box with a hose, which they inserted into my chest cavity through a tube. The pain was intense, and I couldn't move without making it worse. In fact, when I was sitting down, my lung collapsed even more, causing excruciating pain that left me hovering inches above the bed. Thank you for watching our video on the worst physical pains that people have ever experienced. We hope you found these stories both informative and eye-opening. If you have ever experienced excruciating pain, we want you to know that you are not alone. Please feel free to share your own stories or thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this one. Your support helps us continue creating content that sparks interesting discussions. Remember, pain can be a difficult and challenging experience, but it can also be a reminder of the resilience and strength of the human body. Take care, and we'll see you in the next video.